Ayo, back at it again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So today, time of recording is Saturday, August 24th, 2024, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, current map as it stands in the 2024 election. For a long time, there was only 6 states in the battleground contention. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia. But as of recently, North Carolina has become essentially a toss-up and is very much a battleground state. So going over to the polls, because polls are pretty much all that we have at the moment. I'm not a huge fan of polls because they've been wrong in the past and they've been wrong in the future, but the reason why I like polls is that it shows the general direction. It shows the general idea of what's going on with the race. Polls ending August 23rd, active vote. Harris +5, Harris +3, Harris +11, 7, +2 even, Harris +6. So more or less, this is the state of the race. So we got Harris +2 in Pennsylvania, Ohio +12, Missouri +17. That's the Senate race in New Mexico. But overall, who's ahead in the national presidential polling? Harris is pretty much up 3.5 percentage points for a while there in late July. Pretty much tied. Kennedy was polling about 5%. RFK has suspended his campaign. To be honest, I don't think he was polling at 4%, 4.5%, 5%. That's just me. Usually most third-party candidates or independent presidential candidates only poll around 1, 2, or 3%. But after RFK drops out, Harris is at 3.6 roughly. So basically 3.5 point lead nationally in the polls. So let's go to Arizona because that is a battleground state. So essentially within the margin of error, but still Harris lean in Arizona. So that is essentially a toss-up, but lean Harris in Arizona. Let's go to Georgia. Trump is up by about 0.5 percentage point, so that is also within the margin of error, but essentially a toss-up, but lean Trump in Georgia. When I say the margin of error, I usually think about if it's within 2 or 3 percentage points. Michigan. Harris is above 3% in the lead, so that is... Michigan is still toss-up, but it is much more trending towards Kamala Harris than it is towards Donald Trump. Because for a while there, Trump was leading by about a percentage point, and then Harris really flipped the script in late July and has really kind of been gaining momentum in Michigan and is up to about 3.5% point lead in the polls. So still a toss-up, not really within the margin of error. If you're the Harris campaign, you're feeling good about Michigan. Let's go to Nevada. Toss-up, but lean towards Harris. Harris plus 0.6. Basically, Nevada has been a tie for a long time. Trump was up by about 1 percentage point, but essentially it's a toss-up. But a toss-up that leans very, very narrowly towards Kamala Harris. All right, let's go to North Carolina, the state that I never thought would be a battleground in this election. Toss-up, and Harris is up by plus 0.2, 0.1, basically a toss-up, but narrowly towards Harris. So that would put her over the top, 274. If, she's able to really get Michigan and solidify those gains in Michigan, take Nevada, Arizona, and then flip North Carolina from Republican to Democrat, that would put her over the top at 274. Ohio, Trump is pretty much in the lead. Ohio is a red state. Pennsylvania, another really important battleground. Again, probably within the margin of error, about that 1, 2, 3%, but Harris is leading by about 1.8, essentially 2 points. So Michigan and Pennsylvania are in the Harris column, but still competitive. Wisconsin, she's polling at about 3.8, essentially a 4-point lead. So Wisconsin's really good for her. So essentially it's the same numbers as it was last time, because if you look at the 2020 election, it was 303, 235. The only difference is Georgia and North Carolina switched as of right now. So Georgia had 16, the Democrats won Georgia. Right now Trump has the edge in Georgia, but Democrats have a very, very narrow edge in North Carolina. Only about 0.1, 0.2% of the vote, but the fact that North Carolina is in play is wild to me. Like, it just doesn't make, to me, it doesn't make sense. But I wasn't anticipating North Carolina to be in play. I still think it's a toss-up, but right now it's lean towards Harris, but it can always go towards Trump. Harris is doing really well in the upper Midwest. Democrats are making gains in the Sun Belt of the country. So Nevada, Arizona, Georgia is still a toss-up. North Carolina is essentially a toss-up. Democrats are doing really well up in the Midwest, but slowly but surely are making gains in the Sun Belt. If the Sun Belt goes to Trump, all of it, let's see how that race would turn out. 270 to 268. So essentially a tie, but depending on these votes, Nebraska's 2nd congressional, Maine's 2nd congressional, it could end up a tie. There's always a possibility of a tie. But I think Nebraska's 2nd is trending Democrat. I feel Nevada and Arizona are trending towards the Democratic column. North Carolina is still a toss-up, but right now it has a lean towards the Democrats. So 303, 235, if we believe the polls, which, I don't know. I mean, I like polls, but I also don't like polls because I like them in the sense where they can give me the general idea of what's going on, but they've been wrong before. Do voters want Republicans or Democrats in Congress? So the generic ballot, Democrats are up by about 1.5%. So if Democrats are able to continue that momentum, then that can help in competitive House races. So if Democrats continue to be up by about 1.5%, maybe 2 percentage points over Republicans on the generic ballot, then that can translate to a potential Democratic-controlled House. But you never know. What else do I want to talk about? Favorability. Trump has been pretty stagnant. Harris has done a really good job of boosting her favorabilities in the past month, 2 months. So if you look at it, pretty favorable going into 2021, 2022, and then the unfavorables were pretty consistent. Unfavorable +15, +16, and then within the past month or so, there's been a really drastic turn, because it was unfavorable +15 and now it's only unfavorable +1.5, 2 percentage points. So Harris has gone from about a 36, 35% favorability up to about a 44%, 45% favorability. So very interesting things are happening in the race. Again, I didn't think North Carolina was in play, but that is the state of the race at the time of recording, August the 24th, 2024, at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll see you on the next video. Deuces.